Good morning, everyone. The hearing is officially called to order, and I'd ask everyone to please silence your cell phones. This is the third in a series of 7 public hearings of the Ad Hoc Committee to review the Criminal Justice Act. My name is Kathleen Cardone. I'm a United States District Judge for the Western District of Texas, and I am chair of the committee. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce the other members of the committee that are here with me today. I'm going to start with those that are part of our first panel. Judge Dale Fisher, she's a United States District Judge from the Central District of California. Judge John Gerard, from a United States District Judge from Nebraska. Mr. Chip Frensley, a National CJA panel attorney, a district representative, and Dr. Robert Rucker, Assistant Circuit Executive for the Ninth Circuit. And note that he will be acting as chair for our hearing tomorrow. Also present from the committee are members who will be participating throughout these 2 days of hearings. They include Reuben Kahn, Executive Director, Federal Defenders of San Diego, Catherine Rowe, the Federal Defender for the District of Minnesota, and Professor John Gould, our reporter from American University. Not with us today, but always with us in spirit, our Judge Edward Prado. He's Chair Emeritus of the committee and a judge on the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. Judge Reggie Walton, United States District Court Judge in Washington, D.C. Judge Mitchell Goldberg, United States District Judge, Eastern District of Pennsylvania. Neil McBride, an attorney with Davis, Polk, and Wardwell, and Professor Orrin Carr from the George Washington University. Also, please let me introduce staff of our committee, who include Ms. Erin Brenner, Attorney Advisor, Ms. Autumn Dickman, our Project Manager, and Mr. Mark Gable, he's in the back, Training Specialist. The committee is pleased to be conducting this meeting here in Portland. In planning our hearings throughout the country, it was our desire to have the opportunity to hear from all of our diverse judicial districts by setting up regional locations that would allow us to address all the matters before this committee. In particular, at this third hearing, the committee wishes to have a focus on issues regarding management of the CJA panels and issues surrounding quality of representation. Now, a brief history. Sorry, guys, I just told everybody to silence their phones. Now a brief history of the Criminal Justice Act. The Sixth Amendment guarantees to the accused the right to counsel in serious criminal prosecutions. To ensure that representation, it is well established that after assessing the financial condition of the accused, the government may bear some or all of the cost of the representation of that person. The responsibility for appointing the counsel in federal criminal proceedings for those unable to bear the cost has historically rested with the federal judiciary. In 1964, the Criminal Justice Act, or what we call the CJA, was enacted. It established a comprehensive system for appointing and compensating lawyers to represent defendants financially unable to retain counsel in federal proceedings. It also authorized reimbursement of reasonable out-of-pocket expenses and payment of expert and investigative services necessary for an adequate defense. Amendments to the CJA in 1970 authorized districts to establish federal defender organizations as counterparts to federal prosecutors in those districts where at least 200 persons annually require the appointment of counsel. It is now more than 50 years since the CJA was enacted. There are approximately 81 authorized federal defender organizations who employ lawyers, investigators, paralegals, and support personnel. They serve over 90 of the 94 judicial districts. Those federal defender organizations, in combination with more than 10,000 private panel attorneys, represent the vast majority of individuals who are prosecuted in our federal courts. In April of 2015, I and my fellow committee members had the distinct privilege of being appointed by John Roberts, Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court, to serve on this ad hoc committee to review the Criminal Justice Act. In so doing, the Chief Justice Roberts listed 14 specific issues for us to review. They include areas of judicial involvement in the CJA process, employment and compensation under the CJA, quality of representation under the CJA, and the CJA structure and effectiveness. This is not the first of a kind study. Judicial Conference policy has long supported a periodic, comprehensive, and impartial review of the CJA program. In 1967, the Judicial Conference and the Department of Justice gave Professor Dallin Oaks the sole responsibility of performing such an analysis. Then, in 1993, a report authored by the Committee to Review the Criminal Justice Act, which was chaired by our Chair Emeritus Judge Edward Prado, was presented to the Judicial Conference. It was a 212-page report, and it described the historical evolution of appointed counsel in the federal courts, as well as presenting detailed findings. It made 28 specific recommendations to improve the CJA program, to include selection, training, evaluation, and compensation of panel attorneys, the establishment and management of federal defender organizations, CJA funding, and improvements to the administrative structure. Many of the Prado Review Committee's proposals were endorsed by the Judicial Conference. It has now been over 20 years since that report. This committee is very thankful for all of the work that was done by our predecessors, and in particular, we wish to recognize Judge Prado. Those efforts and the effort of the entire committee has been an invaluable source of help in framing the work of this committee. I want to address for all of you a bit about the framework of our study. The study is expected to be completed in the spring of 2017, when it will be presented to the Judicial Conference of the United States Courts. Between now and then, this committee, with all of its collective experience and the views of all of its members, intends to gather information, examine the CJA programs, debate the issues, and, after thoughtful consideration, make its recommendations to policymakers. These findings and recommendations will be well documented and explained in a written report. The report will be prepared by none other than our reporter, Professor John Gould. It is the committee's hope that in today's world of computers, email, and websites, we are able to sufficiently reach out to the stakeholders and give them the opportunity to provide us with ample information to document our study. For those of you who are not aware, the CJA committee has set up a website at cjastudy.fd.org, which allows anyone to inform themselves about the study and to submit comment. And you can do that anonymously if you desire. The committee will be conducting a series of 7 public hearings. This series of 7 public hearings is in an effort by the committee to hear from a broad spectrum of individuals and organizations and to engage them in discussion of the issues. These 7 public hearings have been scheduled as follows. Our first completed hearing was on November 16th and 17th of 2015 in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Our second completed hearing was on January 11th, 12th of 2016 in Miami, Florida. Our third and current hearing is here in Portland, Oregon, February 3rd and 4th of 2016. February 18th and 19th, we will be in Birmingham, Alabama. March 2nd and 3rd, we will be in San Francisco, California. April 11th and 12th, we will be in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And finally, May 16th and 17th, we will be in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We are hopeful that the criminal justice community will come forward to present their views. All of these hearings will be transcribed for the public record. The video and the transcripts from our first hearing in Santa Fe and our second hearing in Miami are currently posted on our website, and you can watch and see everything that happened there. Today's hearing is also being broadcast live through our CJA Study website, again, cjastudy.fd.org. Before we get started, let me explain a bit about the format. Each participating panel member will be given the opportunity to make a brief opening statement. We'd ask you to please not read from your written submissions, as they've already been reviewed by the committee and are posted as part of the public record. After each panel participant has had the opportunity to make an opening statement, questioning by the committee will begin. Shortly before the end of this panel's time, I'm going to open it up for any of my fellow committee members who are not part of this particular panel to ask any follow-up questions of you as witnesses.